Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
In the most holy name of Allah, who came to us, the black man and the black woman here in the hills of North America, in the divine person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, and the one God to whom all holy praise is due forever, the Lord of all the worlds. We forever thank him for his coming and for his raising up in our midst a divine leader, a divine teacher, and a divine guide in the personage of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the last and the greatest messenger of Allah. So it is in their two great names that I would like to greet you once again, my beloved black brothers and sisters, in the nation of Islam's greeting words of peace in the Arabic language, which is indeed the original language of the original black man. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. For those of you, and there should always be at least a few, who are unfamiliar with the words Assalamu alaikum, they simply mean, when they are translated from the black man's language of Arabic into the white man's language of English, peace be unto you. And if you would remember your Bible readings, some of us haven't read the Bible in so long, we can't remember when the last time that we read the Bible. But for those of you who are familiar with the scripture of the Bible, the book that the white man told you was a holy book.
Come on.
The book that the white man told you was all holy and all the divinely revealed word of God. But the book that the Muslims told you from God himself through his messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, is a poison book. Huh? Oh, yes. You can't tell me that the Bible is not a poison book. Look at what the Bible has been used to produce all over the world. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
What the Bible has produced all over this earth is global white supremacy. Global white supremacy. You can't disconnect. You can't separate the white man's religion of Christianity, which he preaches from his white man's book called Holy Bible, from global white supremacy.
Go ahead.
Talk black to me. When you open up the Bible, and Muslims, it may surprise you, believe in the truth of the Bible.
Go ahead.
I was getting ready to say we believe in the Bible, but you might not understand that. We believe, though this book is absolutely a poison book, that there is much truth in this book, but that falsehood has been added to it by the people that gave it to us.
Come on.
And that poison that has added to it is that which has allowed them to achieve and maintain supremacy over us.
Right.
Are you listening to me?
Sure.
Well, if you were to open up your Bible and you were to go to the book of Genesis, the 43rd chapter and the 23rd verse, you would find some of the truth that we, the Muslims, believe in with respect to the Bible. Genesis 43 and 23 has one of the prophets of God greeting his brothers, his physical flesh and blood brothers. And when he greeted them, he didn't greet them by saying the things that we who are Christians say. he greeted them by saying the exact thing that we as Muslims say. He greeted them by saying, peace be unto you. And if you would stop and think for a moment, the Bible has been translated from the black man's language into the white man's language of English. Is everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
The Bible has been translated from the black man's language of Hebrew and from the black man's language of Aramaic into the white man's language of English.
Go ahead.
And this is why, depending on what Bible you have, it will say the authorized King James Version of the Bible, Old and New Testaments. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Translated out of the original tongues. What does it mean when it says tongues? It means languages. Translated out of the original tongues with former translations.
Come on.
Diligently compared and revised. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Well, what is meant by the authorized King James Version of the Bible? You know, there was a time when a Negro, a colored boy, a colored girl, a nigger. There was a time when a black man or black woman in the Christian church would not accept any other Bible
Go ahead.
but the King James Version of the Bible.
That's right.
That's the Bible that we as black people consider the real truth with respect to the Bible. You all right?
Yes, sir.
But we didn't pay attention. What do you mean, the authorized King James Version? Well, King James was in 1611. That's when the authorized King James Version of the Bible came out. It was in the year 1611 of the white man's calendar. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Well, was it the Bible older than the year 1611?
Come on. Good question.
Well, if the King James Version is authorized, what were the previous versions? Talk back to me now. What were the previous versions? I mean, there was a Bible. There has been a Bible since the prophets of the Bible came with the scriptures of the Bible.
That's right.
Those Bibles, those scriptures were not authorized. Who authorized the King James Version?
Come on.
It was King James.
Right.
Well, what did King James authorize? Talk back to me. What King James authorized was the Bible having been revised. What do you think revised doesn't mean? Talk back to me. This means that if you were reading the Bible before King James's revision, what you saw, what you understood, what you received from the reading of the scriptures would have been different than when King James revised it.
Come on.
All right, let's not be too philosophical or educational. Let's keep it real. Once King James revised the book, you had scripture that told slaves to obey their masters. You had scripture that told you to love your enemies. You had scripture that said I'm talking about Luke 27, or Luke 6 and 27 through 29.
Come on.
Love your enemies. Hold on now. This is 16:11, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that King James was the king of England. And that there were so many wars involving England and the other nations of Europe, it's not funny. So what do you mean, love your enemies? How could there have been a 30 years war if the Christians loved their enemies? How could there have been 100 years war if the Christians loved their enemies? How could there have been so much war and bloodshed in Europe during the time of King James's revision of the Bible? How could there have been so much hate, so much violence, if the preachers of love for enemies were loving their enemies? All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. One of the number one reasons for the wars and bloodshed that was going on in Europe at the time was the division going on in the church at the time. Talk black to me. You had Catholics and Protestants, right or wrong. The Protestant church having broken away from the Catholic church. Talk black to me. Catholics and Protestants hated one another. Protestants hated Catholics and went to war against Catholics. And the Bible, having been translated into the English language, was part of the religious strife that was going on in Europe at the time. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Up until it was translated into English, you had a Greek version and you had a Latin version. Y'all all right? So you have what is called the Greek Orthodox Church, and you have the Roman Catholic Church, Latin. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so love your enemies, the point that I'm making in my preliminary comments. Love your enemies is something that is part of King James's revision of the book. It's not what Jesus actually taught. God does not love his enemies. Your Bible teaches you that David was a man after God's own heart. And when you read the Psalms of David, they are filled with the utmost hate on the part of David of his enemies. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
But here we are, some of us still in 2025, especially in Africa. Here we are in the year 2025, and we are still loving our enemies, thinking that when we do this, we are doing what Jesus would have us to do.
Come on.
God didn't love his enemies.
Come on.
Jesus didn't love his enemies.
Come on.
You can't find a scripture in the Bible that would seem to indicate that Jesus loved his enemies. Jesus didn't pray for his enemies.
Come on.
So don't tell me Jesus loved his enemies.
Come on.
Jesus didn't care for his enemies. That's why when he was about to leave, he prayed and said these words, I pray not for the world. Talk back to me. This is Jesus. I pray not for the world, but I pray of the world. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Mm. Go ahead.
So don't hand me a Jesus that loved his enemies. He didn't even pray for his enemies.
Come on.
He prayed for those that the Father gave him as followers and believers from out of the world of his enemies.
Come on.
Talk black to me. God hates his enemies so much that he has threatened his enemies for 6,000 years through the mouths of his prophets that one day he's going to come and utterly destroy his enemies.
Mm.
You don't push people that you love into a lake of fire.
Mm.
Talk black to me.
Mm.
But this is what God comes to do in the latter days, to push his enemies into a lake of fire and to burn them.
Mm.
Come on.
God doesn't love false prophets because he threatens to push the false prophets
Come on.
into the lake of fire with his enemies that he turns beasts. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. Mm.
So this book, Bible, it's not the original Bible.
Mm.
It's a revision. Re means to do over, vised, vision, perspective, understanding. Talk back to me.
Mm.
It means you get a whole different message
Mm.
from the reading of this book that you would have gotten if you had the real book.
Mm.
I'm talking about the original version.
Go ahead.
Are you listening to me?
Loud and clear, sir.
But the white man, the Jew, the Christian, as Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us, have been tampering with the Bible
Mm.
ever since the prophets brought them the scripture. This is why, listen good now, this is why you have a Bible that teaches, well, I won't say the Bible. You all right?
Yes,
Mm.
sir.
But this is why you have a religion taught from the Bible that teaches. What do you mean teaches? Well, listen. That we as black people, we're talking about global white supremacy, right? That we as black people are black because we were cursed black as the result of God cursing one of the sons of Noah. Are y'all listening?
Man.
One of the sons of Noah, Ham,
Yes, sir.
mocked his father Noah,
Yes, sir.
and he was cursed by God.
Go ahead.
And there were two aspects, maybe more, but there were two aspects of this curse of God upon the son of Noah, the prophet of God.
Come on.
Go ahead.
One, blackness. Two, slavery.
Wow.
Are you listening to me?
Mm.
Yes, sir.
Noah's son Ham's descendants. This was literally taught to black people in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Were cursed black and cursed to be the servants of others, the slaves of others. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So in the white man's religion or Christianity, in the white man's book called Holy Bible,
Go ahead.
you have a revision of what the truth of the Bible actually brings in terms of a message.
Come on. Mm.
Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir. Mm.
Okay. There is nothing, absolutely nothing in the teachings of the prophets that justifies the condition of our people. Nothing justifies it. There is much in the Bible that explains it, but there is nothing that justifies it. So as Muslims, we believe in the truth of the Bible, but we believe it has been tampered with. The Bible has been tampered with. The truth of the Bible has been tampered with. And therefore, the Bible must be reinterpreted so that mankind will not be snared, fooled, bamboozled, tricked, led astray, won't be snared by the falsehood that has been added to it. If you are a diehard Christian, you don't want to admit that there is falsehood that has been added to the book. Okay, well, wait a minute. Now remember, the reason we're talking about the Bible is because the Bible was originally written. The scriptures were originally revealed in and written in the original languages, meaning the first languages of the peoples of this earth.
Come on.
Well, the first languages of the peoples of this earth would have to be those languages spoken by the first peoples of this earth. So I ask you, are white people the first people of the earth?
Sir.
Are white people the original people? Absolutely not. And so the Bible was not originally revealed or written in the languages of any white people, because the white man's languages are not original languages. I'm explaining why we're even talking about the Bible and we Muslims in the first place. Number one, we're not talking to Muslims in theory.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And if I don't get to something really, really interesting to Muslims that might be the ones that I'm talking to when I'm not supposed to be talking to them, I won't be talking to Muslims.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We are talking hopefully, prayerfully, to people who have not yet made the decision to give up the white man's religion and accept their own religion, which is the true religion of God, and that is Islam.
Come on.
But you must explain to our people who know no book but the Bible, who know no religion but the religion of Christianity, who know no teacher of religion and or spirituality but the white man. You must explain to them that which would allow them to make an intelligent decision to give up the old and accept the new. All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. This book, Bible, as I said earlier, was translated out of the black man's languages of Aramaic and Hebrew into the white man's languages of Greek, then to Latin, and then from Latin into English. Y'all all right? Okay. You didn't know Hebrew was a black man's language. Unless you've been watching Minister Eric or somebody like Minister Eric. You didn't know Hebrew was a black man's language. The white man does not teach. I didn't say the white man does not admit. I said the white man does not teach. The white man knows. The white man admits. You can look it up, but the white man does not teach that Hebrew is a black man's language. Are you listening to me? You have to get that someplace else.
Go ahead.
And even when you look it up, you have to find You have to weave your way through a lot of white man's BS in order to bring it to your black brother or sister as straight as I bring it. Talk black to me. The white man says Hebrew is a language that is Semitic. He says Aramaic is a language that is Semitic. He tells you Semitic refers to something else, which is Afro-Asiatic. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Soon as you hear Afro, that's it. The cracker could have just said black, but he's going to take you to Semitic, then tell you Semitic means Afro-Asiatic, and he's going to stop right there and not tell you that to say Afro-Asiatic is to say the black man of Africa and Asia. Are you listening to me? Once you say these languages are Semitic, you're saying they're black. Now let me tell you something else you missed. If Aramaic and Hebrew are Semitic languages, and Semitic means they are black languages, what in the HE97Ls are these crackers in Israel doing claiming to be Semitic people? They're not Semitic people. If you're a white man from Ukraine living in Israel,
Come on.
you are not a Semite.
Come on, brother.
If you are a white man from Poland and you are living in Israel, you are not Semitic. If you are a white man from Germany or from Russia or from Austria or from any of the other Eastern European nations, and you have migrated, settled in Israel, you are not Semitic.
Great.
So if I am against you, I am not against Jews. If I am against you, I am not against Semites, because there are almost, if not actually none, there are almost no whites at all who are Jews, and there are absolutely no whites at all who are Semites. If I'm against Israel, and I'm not anti-Semitic, because the Israelis are not Semitic. I don't give a damn how much the white man tells you them crackers over there are Semites. They're not Semites. If you're not Afro-Asiatic, you're not Semitic. And you can't be a European Afro-Asiatic. You got 3 damn continents there. Now, hell, are you a European, but you're an African Asiatic? Stop it. Now ask yourself this question. Why in the hell don't your Christian preachers teach like this? Why don't you know this already? Why are you walking around like a Jesus freak? Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. And don't know your anus from your damn elbows when it comes to all matters of religion. Don't get upset with me for talking to you like this. Get upset with yourself for not finding me earlier than you have. Are you listening to me?
Go ahead, man.
You sisters that are with brothers who are accepting Islam, but you don't want to accept it. You need to be listening to me. Or somebody that you can stomach a little more than me that's telling you the same truth. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. No the world are you resisting Islam for? Islam is the truth. All we do at Muhammad's temples is give you the truth. I know the truth is frightening because it goes against the grain. It cuts against the grain. A lot of sisters have taken wood shop. Oh yeah. There was some school, I don't know if it's still there,
Right.
in that plaza off of Wesley Chapel Road.
Okay.
Go 20
20.
east.
Getting off that way.
Get off Wesley Chapel, make a left.
Okay.
You go almost to the light where Heston is, but that last big plaza over there, there was a school in there.
Wow.
Some type of school that was teaching,
Yeah.
carpentry, among other things.
Right.
A lot of sisters was going there years ago. I have no idea what's going on over there now.
Okay.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
The white man got our women going into everything that we have traditionally been in, things that are not fit for a woman to be doing.
Right.
But see, the white man wants to eliminate any distinctions between sexes. He wants to make your woman a man, and he wants to make you man a woman. There's no more he or she, it's they and them now. Talk black to me. You're only a he assigned at birth. Anybody listen? When it comes to being male, you're no longer male now in this white man's crazy world. You're male assigned at birth. But you're not male no more. You're female assigned at birth, but you're not female anymore. You're whatever you identify with and or as now. Brother, this cracker is crazy. And the bigger problem than he or him being crazy is we following right after him. We're justifying, embracing, accepting
Everything you do.
the insanity of white people.
All day, brother.
Huh?
All day.
All right, let's get back to the Bible. And let's talk about this Semitic thing.
Right.
One of the things that is on our minds today is the Trump presidency attacking DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. And this is affecting, or is at least intended to affect, college admissions. Right? No more race-based college admissions is what the white man says. I'm going into this because there are many of us who value a college education. What's going on the college campuses? Free speech is being destroyed. Free speech is being destroyed on college campuses. There is a heavy attack on college campuses against free speech as it involves condemning Israel for committing genocide. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So if you are on the right, I didn't say the white, I said the right. If you're on the right white college campus, if you are even on the right non-white college campus, and you in any way condemn Israel,
You're in trouble. Right.
You might be expelled or be penalized in some other fashion on the false charge of being anti-Semitic. Meanwhile, what you are condemning, who you are condemning, are not even Semites. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
But how many of you are brave enough? How many of us are brave enough to say what I'm saying here today? How many of you are brave enough to challenge everybody that calls them crackers Semitic? They're not Semites. And you are not against Semites because you are against them. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
The Palestinians are Semites. Anybody listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
The Palestinians, the Arabs, are Semites. The only reason the Palestinians are Semites is because they're Arabs. The only reason the Palestinians are Semites is because they are Arabs.
Say that, brother.
Arabs are Semites.
Go ahead.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
But here you are. You may have a college president on your campus who had to resign due to some issues on the campus that were called anti-Semitic. Talk back to me.
Right.
All of this is relevant to the Bible, to the Christian religion, to the Islamic religion, to black history.
Come on.
Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you say peace be unto you in the black man's language? Well, the black man has a whole lot of languages.
Come on.
So you would say it a whole lot of ways, right or wrong?
Right.
Well, there are 3 of the black man's languages that the white man calls Semitic. Not only 3, but we're only going to deal with 3. There are 3 languages that the white man calls Semitic, meaning black. He won't say black. He doesn't want you to know they're black. So he comes up with educated terms. You know, just like he has these Latin terms for flowers, Latin terms for animals. When you go up into higher education, you learn the Latin names for things.
Right.
Y'all all right?
Another
Yes,
white
sir.
man. That's right.
Something, something cuss, something, something cuss.
Right. Gotta leave him. Right.
Right? It's got a Latin name. All right. There are 3 languages that the white man calls Semitic. Arabic. What? Yes. Arabic. Arabic is Afro-Asiatic.
Go ahead.
You wouldn't know that looking at the Arabs you see on television. How many Palestinians look Afro-Asiatic? If you watch videos enough, you'll see a sprinkling of them. If you watch videos enough of Arabs, no matter where Arabs are, you'll see a sprinkling of them. But most of the Arabs that the white man gives you images of are deliberately Arabs that look absolutely nothing like you. But there are many Arabs who look exactly like you. I know that comes as a surprise. Talk black to me. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Another Afro-Asiatic language, Hebrew, Aramaic. Now, I already already told you how to say peace be unto you in Arabic. It's Assalamu alaikum.
Right.
How do you say it in Hebrew? Assalamu alaikum. How do you say it in Aramaic? Assalamu alaikum. All three sound the same, don't they?
Yes, sir.
Because all three belong to the same family of languages. Well, if all three belong to the same family of languages, then all three are languages that belong to the same family of people. That means Arabs, Hebrews, and any people called Aramaean. I have to say it like that because I don't know if there's any people that are called Aramaeans or not.
Right.
And don't give a damn. So, I mean, if you want to hit me to that knowledge, go ahead, but I couldn't care less. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bottom line, Arabs and Hebrews and anybody who speaks Aramaean or who spoke Aramaean, they are all part of a family of people. They're all related.
Go ahead.
And the people are called Afro-Asiatics. I know this is simple, basic, and I'll spend 3 hours teaching it every Sunday, but damn, you ain't got it yet. It ain't like you kicking the damn door down to get your behind up in here to get your ex, so shut up and listen.
Right.
I'm not talking to everybody right now. I'm talking to people who want me to teach on something else. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. If you were doing more teaching to people who need this truth,
Come on.
there would be more people accepting this truth. And we would be making more progress towards the end of global white supremacy. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the white race was given 6,000 years to rule black people.
Go ahead.
And the black nation has 3 other colors that are members of it.
Go ahead.
The black nation has 3 members, races, that are part of the black nation, and that is the brown race, the red race, the yellow race. They are 3 members of the black nation, which is not a race.
Come
Come
on.
on.
This is the simple, basic, fundamental teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
And that's what the people need.
That's right.
Ah,
High science. That's right.
the hell with high science.
That's right, brother.
Bunch of high scientific niggas that don't know their anus from their elbows.
That's real, brother.
All this damn science.
And no right. Nothing else, man.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
Now, the white race, Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us, was given. Who gave it to him? God gave it to him. God gave the white man power and dominion. God gave the white man power to exercise dominion, rule, supremacy over the black man, the brown man, the red man, the yellow man. He didn't give them 6 million years. He didn't give them 6 trillion years. He gave them 6,000 years. Y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
More than enough.
Now, the 6,000 years began a little over 6,000 years ago. Are you following me?
Yes.
I'm not asking you, do you believe me? Are you following me?
Yes.
I want you to have a firm grip on what you decide not to accept, so that the punishment that is brought on you is extra justified. And so you will feel extra pain. I don't want you to be able to claim no damn ignorance. Are you listening to me?
Jeez.
So I'm hoping you following me. So when you say you don't want to be no Muslim, it'll be justified what happens to you for not being a Muslim. All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. If you're a black woman with a man who has accepted Islam, what the hell have you ever seen have the effect on that nigga that Islam has had on him? When have you ever seen your man with this much life in him? When have you ever seen your man with a conversation that is as high as his conversation is now? When have you ever seen your man dress the way he dresses now? Eat the way he eats now? Live the way he lives now?
Go ahead.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When they were condemning Jesus as being something other than a righteous man, with respect to what he was teaching and the effect of it on the people, what did Jesus say? Talk back to, since you're such a Jesus freak. Well, what did Jesus say? Jesus pointed to the effect of his words on those who accepted them. Y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir. Keep going.
So Jesus said, or he asked the question, or he posed the question. I'm saying question.
Right.
Basically, what Jesus said is, if you doubt that I'm from the Father, and when he said the Father, he meant God. He said, well then, if I do the works of my Father, meaning if you see in what I am preaching and the effect that it is having on those that accept it, if you see the working of God, then I'm from God. Talk black to me.
That's right.
Here's a man that the book is teaching is opening the eyes of the blind, making the deaf hear, making the dumb speak, making the lame walk, cleansing the lepers. Huh? Here is a man, in other words, performing miracles.
Right.
Doing a work on a people that none of the most high and wise in the society are able to do, producing an effect on the people in society that the wisest scholars of the day can't produce. That's God working through that man.
Go ahead.
Talk black to me.
Good. All day, bro.
He's succeeding in doing something
Right.
that those in the society who are tasked to do it have failed to do. Are you listening to me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Elijah Muhammad has been able. Elijah Muhammad has been what?
Able.
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 Ability.
Yes, sir.
Able. Elijah Muhammad has been able to do. Elijah Muhammad has been able to do. This ain't no Muslim talking.
Come on.
That's right.
This is a cigarette smoking, liquor drinking,
Go ahead.
white man's nigger, Christian talking. James Baldwin,
Go ahead.
one of the most famous black men
Right.
of our history in America. James Baldwin, in his book, the title of the book is The Fire Next Time. How many of us have read that book? Raise your hand. See? I've never read the book.
Mhm.
Might have to go look for it.
Right?
James Baldwin, in his book, The Fire Next Time, says Elijah Muhammad has been able to do what generations of welfare workers and committees and resolutions and reports and housing projects and playgrounds have failed to do. He has done all these things, which our Christian church has spectacularly failed to do. You can't get this hard-headed black woman out of the white man's church, away from that no good black Christian preacher, and the falsehood that has been added to the truth that was taught by Jesus. You can't get away from it. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, the very church that you can't get her away from, and many of us away from, has spectacularly failed to do, along with all of the programs that have been instituted by all of the educated scholars and scientists of religion, of social engineering, whatever. They have failed to do a particular thing among us that Elijah Muhammad has been able to do. So I'm asking you, if the church is so wonderful and the mosque or temple is not, why have not the churches of the white man's religion, whether they are black churches or white churches, why have the churches been unable to produce the effect on black life that Elijah Muhammad's mosques and temples have been able to produce on black life? Talk back to me. It is simply because Elijah Muhammad, being from God, who is the Father,
Go ahead.
was simply doing the works of the Father, backed by the Father. Talk black to me. But you don't want to accept Elijah Muhammad as a man from the Father, even though he does the works of the Father.
Wow.
Because the white man didn't tell you to do so.
Right?
But the white man who didn't tell you to accept Elijah Muhammad as a man from the Father, he can't do what Elijah Muhammad did.
Come on.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad succeeded in taking the absolute worst of black people and doing a work on them, with them. I'll read it again. Former, wait a minute. Oh, here it is. Jet Magazine. Is Jet Magazine Muslims?
As you were, sir.
These ain't Muslims, these Christians.
Yes, sir.
Jet Magazine, Muhammad, meaning Elijah Muhammad, a master psychologist, offers identification, definition, and belonging to all those who seek it.
Wow. Teach.
Now, you know, many of us seek identification, definition, and belonging in black Greek fraternities and sororities.
That's right.
Hear me again. Many of us seek identification, definition, and belonging in black Greek sororities, black Greek fraternities. Many of us seek identification, definition, and belonging in orders like the Masonic Lodge, the Masonic Shrine.
Teach.
We seek identification, definition, and belonging with, I don't know what I would call them, but Elks lodges. Talk black to me. You got a lot of black men that are Elks.
Yeah.
All kinds of black men that are Elks.
Yes, sir.
What are they seeking? What made them become an elk? They were seeking identification.
Yes, sir.
They were seeking definition.
Go ahead.
They were seeking belonging.
Yes, sir.
And we, as black people who seek this, we seek it in the form of joining a whole lot of things, fraternal orders,
Right.
right?
Yes, sir.
Sororities, clubs, you name it. We seek identification, definition, and belonging in gangs,
That's right.
street organizations,
Go ahead.
whatever the hell you want to call it. Right or wrong? Why do we join all of the things that we join? We're seeking identification, definition, and belonging. Here's the reason why I'm reading this. All you who are seeking identification, definition, and belonging in fraternal orders like the Masonic Shrine, the Masonic Lodge, Elijah Muhammad, Jet Magazine tells you he offers all of that to you. Talk back to me. The identification, definition, and belonging you seek in by joining the Kappas, the Alphas, the Omegas, the Sigmas,
Right.
the Deltas,
Right.
the whatevers, the niggas. All of the identification, definition, and belonging that you're seeking by joining the Elks, by joining anything that you join. Elijah Muhammad offers all of that to you. This is Jet Magazine. He offers it to all those who seek it, and in return, now we're not talking about those of you who seek it but don't accept it from Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad doesn't get anything in return for what he offers you,
Go ahead.
but for what he offers those who accept his offer. Talk back to me. There's something he gets in return, Jet Magazine says. It is a loyalty and obedience and discipline which staggers the imagination.
Praise be to Allah.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Mind-boggling discipline. Mind-boggling obedience. Mind-boggling loyalty. Talk black to me. The church has never produced that. And it never will. The white man's miseducation does not produce that. And it never will. So the white man's system of education is not doing the works of the Father. Talk black to me. Because Elijah Muhammad is that man who was able to do what none of the programs that came from them was able to do. The black Christian church is not doing the works of the Father.
That's right. And
that's why Elijah Muhammad was able to do all of the things which the black Christian church has spectacularly failed to do. Y'all all right?
yes, sir.
You don't get loyalty and obedience and a discipline that boggles the mind from those that accept the white man's religion of Christianity in the black version of the white man's church. You don't get it there, but you do get it here. Talk black to me, because Elijah Muhammad is doing the works of the Father. He's still doing them. I know you consider Elijah Muhammad to be dead and gone and irrelevant, but he's still doing those works. That's why I'm here. That's why those other brothers among us who are here are here. Talk black to me. All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We have an understanding of the Bible that the Christian preacher does not have. We are able to teach this book in a way that makes it more relevant to your black life in white America than the preacher is able to do. Talk black to me. We keep it more real. And because we keep it more real, you're able to get more from it. We teach you the truth that the white man has added falsehood to, distinguishing that truth from the falsehood that the white man has added to it. In the truth of the Bible, there is power. Y'all ain't listening. In the truth of the Bible, there is power. And that's exactly why the white man added falsehood to that truth. It was to deny you power, but not him. The white man knows the distinction between the truth and the falsehood he added to it, but you don't know it. So the white man is able to get power with this book. You, on the other hand, are brought under the power of the white man by this book, because you don't know the difference between the truth, where the power is in the book, and the falsehood that has been added to that truth that denies you that power. Talk black to me. There's black power in the Bible. There's black power in the Quran. But the Orthodox black Muslim has no power. The black Christian has no power. But there's black power in both books. You need Elijah Muhammad to do the works of the Father and give you the truth, which is the power in both books. And that's what will bring about an end to global white supremacy. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
You got Muslims who believe in the Holy Quran, who are collaborators, who assist the white man in maintaining power over the non-white man. Muslims are doing this. There are Muslim supporters of global white supremacy. Huh? I'm talking about Muslims that are not white. Saudi Arabia is a country that is Muslim, the government of which is supporting global white supremacy. The United Arab Emirates is a country, a state, whatever you want to call it. It is a nation state that is supporting global white supremacy. Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Lebanon is a state in the Muslim world. I believe it's predominantly Muslim. But the leadership of Lebanon is supporting global white supremacy. Jordan, the Kingdom of Jordan, Muslim, but supporting global white supremacy. Bahrain, Qatar. You know, Negroes is getting bougie now. Oh yeah. We getting our passports and we running over to Doha now. For our vacation, whatever. We going to Doha now. Or some other Muslim country over in that Gulf region now. It used to be when we thought we were pretty bougie, we'd go to England.
Come on.
You know, we go to London. We go to Paris. We go to Brussels. You know what I mean? We go to different places over there. But now, the bougie Negro, you know, we'll go to Doha or some other country in that area of the Middle East on vacation. These countries, though they are non-white and are non-Christian, are supporting global white supremacy, the power of the white Christian West over non-white Muslims and non-white people, period. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
What's the point? Well, you have a Quran that has truth in it that would bust up global white supremacy. We all know that those of us in the white man's religion of Christianity are supporting the global supremacy of white people. Talk back to me. We're black with white names.
Go ahead.
We're black with the white man's language. We're black worshiping the white man's God, and we're in the white man's religion. Talk back to me. We're black, and we are so impacted by white culture that our own black culture is difficult to find. Are you listening to me? You go to Africa right now, and you will find Africans sitting behind, I don't know whether I should call it a desk, whatever, but you will find in Africa rulers. When I say rulers, maybe I shouldn't say that. People in the justice system in some of those countries, they are wearing those traditional European wigs on their damn heads.
Wow.
Are you listening to me? Do you know how stupid them niggas look? Blacker than the ace of spades with a damn white wig and a damn tail hanging off the wig. Like them crackers wear in Europe. Does anybody even know why them devils wore those wigs in Europe in the first place?
Teach on. Teach.
I bet you we don't know. Because these devils had such poor hygiene.
Right.
They put them wigs on to hide what was going on top of their heads.
Come on.
Are y'all listening?
Yes, sir.
They themselves have no further need to put them wigs on. And here you are black, African, and you got them stupid looking wigs on, trying to govern, trying to rule over your people. Because you're supporting global white supremacy. You got them stupid wigs on your head? Looking like George Washington.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's ridiculous. So we know we support global white supremacy, but there's a truth in the Bible. There's black power in the Bible. There's black power in the Holy Quran that will bring an end to global white supremacy. But in order to get that power, you got to follow Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
You got to study Elijah Muhammad's teaching.
Yes, sir.
And you have to accept Elijah Muhammad's program.
Come on.
because Elijah Muhammad's teaching and Elijah Muhammad's program will bring about an end to global white supremacy.
Go ahead. That's right.
Talk black to me.
Teach.
One of the rulers of global white supremacy who knew of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said these words about him.
Yes, sir.
If it were not for Elijah Muhammad, we, and he was talking about white people, period, would have a great future. I literally lied to you not. One of the main figures, I forget the name, one of the main figures and rulers of global white supremacy said of Elijah Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
that if we could get rid of him, if it were not for him, we would have a bright future. He didn't say that about Martin Luther King. He didn't say that about, give me some other civil rights. He didn't say that about Andy Young.
Right.
Talk black to me. He didn't say that about Ralph Abernathy.
John Lewis.
He didn't say that about John Lewis.
Sir. Come on.
He didn't say that about a single black man or woman who was standing up, quote unquote, for black people. He reserved that comment for Elijah Muhammad.
Come on.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
Now, why didn't he say it about anybody else? His statement was said alone
Yes, sir.
among all black leaders, Elijah Muhammad.
Come on. Teach.
Well, I'll read you another thing from Message to the Black Man.
Come on.
Reader's Digest, 1959.
Go ahead.
3 years after Martin Luther King integrated the buses in Montgomery. This mild-looking man
Come on.
is the most powerful black man in America.
Come on.
Will you please explain to me, male or female, why don't you want to accept the teaching and program and become a follower of the most powerful black man in America?
Ooh, now that's a good question. Come on. That's right.
I almost answered it, but, you know, I have this reputation. He offers a new way of life.
Come on.
You mean to tell me Martin Luther King didn't offer a new way of life? You mean to tell me Ralph David Abernathy and John Lewis and any other of the black leaders didn't offer a new way of life? Okay. Well, he offers a new way of life. Muhammad prompts even his severest critics, meaning the people that talk the most ish about Elijah.
Yes, sir.
There's something Elijah gets from even them. He prompts from even his severest critics to agree.
Wow.
How do you get the people who talk the most trash against you to agree with you?
Go ahead. Teach.
When he says he attacks traditional reasons the Negro race is weak. You mean the other Negro leaders were not attacking the traditional reasons they were weak?
Wow.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Now remember,
That would sound right.
I said this person whose name I can't, maybe Minister Kevin will know. One of these white leaders of global white supremacy said, and the black man that he said it of was Elijah Muhammad alone. He didn't say it of Elijah Muhammad and some other men too. Alone. Elijah Muhammad. All right. New York Times Magazine. Alone. Here's Elijah Muhammad being distinguished from other black leaders again. Alone of all Negro leaders. All. He alone. Elijah Muhammad has a vivid awareness.
Woo. Come on.
He ain't just aware of this, while other black leaders are not aware of it. He is vividly aware of something all other black leaders are not aware of. What is it? Of the vital. When something is vital, what that mean?
Critical. Life.
You have organs.
Yes, sir.
Those of us who shoot. I only shoot once a year. And I only shoot because I have to.
Yes, sir.
If I don't, I'll lose my license. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
If I lose my license, I got to get another job. But these, you're taught to shoot in this area right here because this is the area that contains your vital organs. Are you listening to me? Heart, lungs, kidneys. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Even your gut. You don't want to be gut shot. You can go septic and die.
Come on.
Talk black to me. You don't want to be stabbed in the gut. You can go septic and die.
Come on.
The vital need is a need the same thing. The need is in Jamal Bryant's church that used to be Eddie Lone's church. Because I said new birth, cut it out. Nobody talking about y'all. Vital need of a new birth. Well, wait a minute. What did Jesus say you had to be in order to see the kingdom of heaven? You had to be born again. Right or wrong? Talk black to me now. So there's a vital need, according to Jesus, for a new birth.
Come on.
Elijah Muhammad, vividly aware of the vital need of a new birth in any drastic human transformation. Well, wait a minute. All these other black leaders were in the Christian church.
Yes, sir.
The church where Jesus said the most vital need was a new birth.
Right.
But here they are trying to bring about a transformation, a human transformation, but none of them are aware, period. But Elijah Muhammad is vividly aware of what they're not aware.
Yes, sir.
The vital need for a new birth if there is to be a drastic human transformation. And he alone, none of the others did it.
He alone.
He alone mastered, not experimented, mastered, not tried, not attempted. He alone mastered the technique of staging a new identity. It is worth remembering that what Elijah Muhammad is doing to the Negro, in a sense, is what America has done to the immigrant from Europe. This is New York Times Magazine. This ain't nobody like no Muslims. This is the white man's New York Times Magazine. Look what it's saying about it. And here you are, still ain't following him. almost 100 years since he started teaching. Come on, black man and woman, let's be for real. Now, I read to you Reader's Digest. I read to you James Baldwin. I read to you from the New York Times. I read to you from Jet Magazine. Now, since there's only one more, I'm going to read to you from former presidential assistant. Somebody who at the time this book was published was he might have already been.
Yes, sir.
He might have still been currently the presidential assistant and former Harvard professor. Y'all listening?
Yes, sir.
This ain't no lightweight cracker.
They knew about him in the White House.
Damn right they knew. I'm going to tell you if I remember how much they knew about him in the White House.
Yes, sir.
Arthur J. Schlesinger Jr. in Esquire magazine. Muhammad's movement is unique. It's not like none of these other leaders' movements.
Come on.
It ain't like the SCLC.
Right.
It ain't like the Urban League.
Yeah.
It ain't like Congress of Racial Equality. It ain't like none of the civil rights organizations. Muhammad's movement is unique. Mr. Schlesinger. Yes. Mr. Schlesinger.
Right.
What is it about Muhammad's movement that's unique? Well, I'll tell you. Muhammad's movement is unique in that it has thrived.
Wow.
Not survived.
Come on.
It has thrived outside the Christian tradition. No other movement that was not part of the Christian tradition has ever been able to thrive.
Come on.
You damn niggas.
Come on.
Yes, I had to be myself. You damn niggas who oppose Elijah because you are Nation of Islam rejects. That's what you are.
Yes, sir.
You can't cut the mustard in or with the Nation of Islam, so you fall back on something black that's not Elijah. And like Umar Johnson, you start pushing Marcus Garvey.
Right.
The Universal Negro Improvement Association did not thrive outside. It did thrive.
Yes, sir.
But it did not thrive outside the Christian tradition.
Come on.
Garvey taught more Jesus and Christianity than you can shake a stick at.
See.
Many of the heads of Garvey's chapters were Christian preachers. It didn't exist outside the Christian tradition. Silly hard-head niggas. Marcus Garvey is our man because Marcus Garvey was spoken highly of by our God. Noble Drew Ali is our man because he was spoken highly of by our God. But we don't follow Marcus Garvey and we don't follow Noble Drew Ali. We're calling the followers of Garvey and Noble Drew Ali to come follow Elijah.
Come on. That's right. See.
Because like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, none of you that follow Garvey or followed Garvey then, and none of you that follow him today, none of you that follow Noble Drew Ali then, and none of you that follow Noble Drew Ali today are following either one of them like you ought to have followed them.
Right.
So you need a third man.
Go ahead.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches. You need a third man to finish what they started. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Garvey wanted to see you in an independent nation, governing yourself, Noble Jew Ali wanted to see you in your religion, in your own culture. It's really not a religion, it's your nature. God, Ali wanted to see you in Islam.
Come on.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
And nationality was taught. Talk black to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But here you are today. And what they started in terms of nationality, in terms of nationhood, in terms of Islamism, in terms of everything that they brought us to try to help us with fumbling the damn ball. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Well, y'all Muslims is fumbling it too. You damn right we are. Muhammad's movement is unique in that it has thrived outside the Christian tradition, unlike Garvey's movement that thrived because it was inside the Christian tradition and the Protestant community. White Americans have brought this on themselves. This is a white American saying it. And the responsibility can't be evaded by attacking the Muslims. But what you Negroes do, you attack the Muslims. And by attacking we, the Muslims, you're trying to avoid the fact that white America has brought this, meaning us, on themselves. You blame the victim for the crime. Talk black to me. So you attack us. Y'all hate white people. Y'all teach hate. Y'all kill Malcolm. Y'all this, y'all that, y'all this, y'all that. The white man said that white America brought us on themselves and that you can't evade what the white man brought on himself by attacking the Muslims. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The nation of Islam, the leadership of Elijah Muhammad. Did I say Farrakhan?
As you were, sir.
Because I didn't mean Farrakhan. The nation of Islam, the leadership of Elijah Muhammad, is a response to global white supremacy. Global white supremacy brought Master Farad Muhammad through Elijah Muhammad on itself.
Come on.
And so the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the maker of the white race, did anybody hear what I just said?
Yes,
I said the maker of the white race. Did I say the creator of the white race?
As you were, sir.
The white race is not a created people.
Yes, that, sir.
There is nobody who created white people. White people are not part of God's creation. See there, y'all Muslims go again. See. Hello. Do you know white people are not even natural?
Wow. Go ahead.
Some of these, listen, most of our people won't agree with that.
Right. That's right. They won't agree.
Even though they themselves, our people, are the proof white people are not natural.
Go ahead, yeah. Nature proved otherwise. Yes, sir.
I'm trying to tell you now. It is not natural for human beings to interact with one another.
Yes, sir.
The way white people interact, not only with everybody non-white, but even with each other.
Right. See.
Let me give you an example.
Yes, sir.
White people are pushing the LGBTQ agenda all over the planet.
That's right.
The current global white supremacist order that strangles economically the developing world, quote unquote, in order to receive aid that is necessary, quote unquote, for these developing countries to continue along the path of development. There is a requirement to accept the LGBTQ agenda.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Are you listening to me?
That's right, man.
Well, why are you mentioning that? I'm trying to prove to you that white people are not a natural people. The LGBTQ quote unquote community represent human beings that the Bible says have unnatural, what did I say, Brother Gerard X?
Unnatural.
Unnatural, not natural.
Yes, sir.
Unnatural affections.
Unnatural.
If you're lesbian, if you're gay, if you're transgender, if you're bisexual, if you're queer, L, lesbian, G, gay, B, bisexual, T, transgender, Q, queer. Plus, because there's a bunch of other crap now too. Pretty soon you're going to have the whole damn alphabet. And natural, normal people won't have none of the damn letters. You'll have them all with your freakish and licentious self. Talk black to me. Unnatural affection. What you mean unnatural affection? It's not natural. I don't care how much you talk. Hey, it ain't natural for a man to have affection like that for another man. That type of affection is for a man to have for a woman.
Right.
It's not natural for a woman to have the type of affections for another woman that she's supposed to have for a man. Talk black to me. What is there natural about being transgender? How do you move gender? Trans meaning move. How do you alter gender? You don't do it naturally. Gender comes to you naturally by the gender assigned to you at birth.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Root word in gender is gene.
Hello? So how were you born a female?
Right.
Or how were you born a male by gender? And now you're going to transition from male to female and tell me that being transgender is natural. Then what you're telling me is being born male is not natural.
Wow.
They both can't be natural.
Wow. See?
Talk black to me.
See?
You born a man, you're a man.
That's right.
You born a woman, you're a woman.
That's right. See?
That's natural. Whatever happened when you were born, that's what nature did.
Go ahead.
What you did after what nature did is not natural.
There you go. See? Make it plain.
And who are the leading people of LGBTQ? White people.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And who are the monkeys that see white people and then want to do what they see white people do? Niggas. Talk black to me. Monkey see, monkey do. Get the lesbian, gay, transgender, and bisexual and queer hell out my face if you black. You stupid.
Take the plus with it.
Leave, and the plus, which is really a minus, leave that white man and white woman's perverse sexual garbage among themselves. What are you accepting and embracing it for? Talk black to me. We didn't do that crap when we was back home in Africa.
Go ahead.
You say that's not true. The hell it ain't. It's unnatural for us. But it is natural for them. The white race has unnatural affections because they are an unnatural people.
Go ahead.
Nature didn't produce white people. You want to get educated with me? Let's go. I don't care what you think about how I act when I'm up here. If you think you got enough education to outshine me, why don't you try me? I'm telling you, nature did not produce into the human gene pool the genetic traits of the white race. Nature did not introduce into the human gene pool the genetic traits of the white race.
Come on.
Now, in Copenhagen, I believe that's what, Sweden? In Copenhagen, the scientists of genetics, or some scientists of genetics, they say that the genetic traits of the white race were introduced into the human gene pool between 6,000 and 10,000 years ago. Were there any genetic traits of the white race according to these devils in Copenhagen? Were there any genetic traits of the white race 11,000 years ago?
No, sir.
Now, why did I stop? Listen to me very carefully. I've told you this several times, and you probably didn't listen. Not one time I said it, those of you who are regular watchers of Minister Eric. The white man has to do two things. These two things are mandatory. One, he has to deceive you. You're not listening to me.
Right.
It is absolutely mandatory for the white man to deceive you. He must do that. That's a must. Well, what's the other thing, Minister Eric? He must tell you the truth.
Wow. Go ahead.
This is a new Minister Eric right here. I never did this before. There's two things the white man absolutely must do. He must lie to you, meaning deceive you, but he must tell you the truth.
Wow. Come on.
This is the deal a white man got with God.
Come on. Come on. Go ahead.
He must lie to you because that's his purpose for existence.
Yes, sir.
You already got yourself to tell you the truth. What you need the white man for? If the white man is going to tell you the truth, hell, then he has no reason to exist because he's not justifying his existence. He's different.
Yes, sir.
If you're different, you can't do same. you got to do different.
Come on.
So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in how to eat to live. The white man found us on lamb, he put us on beef.
Right.
The white man found us eating the best of foods and he put us on different foods. Why? Because he had to rule according to his own ideas. He had to produce a world based on his own will. He can't come doing the same thing we were doing. How would he rule? How would that be white rule?
Good question.
If he's going to rule the way blacks rule. He's got to rule differently. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the white man has to lie to you. How can you stand up there and say the white man has to lie to me, but he has to tell me the truth?
Make it plain.
I'm just making it as plain as I can.
Yes, sir.
Because the reason the white man lies to you is right in the Quran. The Quran said of the white race that he, white man, was going to do everything he can to cause us to deviate from God.
Wow.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The number one thing the white man wants to do is to beat God to you with respect to you.
Come on.
The white man wants to pull you, have you, possess you instead of God. That's the white man's number one purpose.
Go ahead.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Now, the deal the white man has with God requires the white man to tell you the truth, so that if you choose the white man over God,
Oh, yeah.
then God is like, okay, you can have them.
Come on.
Didn't I say the white man wants to possess you
Yes, sir.
instead of God? Okay, if the white man tells you the truth, but does not tell you a lie and deceive you, and he has you, God has the right to come and snatch you from the white man. Because you didn't have a chance to make an intelligent decision. Meaning, look at the truth, look at falsehood, and decide that you wanted falsehood instead of the truth. So, the white man's possession of you is illegitimate. God has the right to come and just take you.
Yes, sir.
And the white man understands that. So the white man needs to be in a position to say to God, look, these is mine. They chose me over you. Are you listening to me? How can they choose him over God if the white man doesn't expose them to God?
Go ahead.
Of course they're going to choose the white man if that's all they got to choose from.
Come on.
Is God the truth?
Yes, sir.
So the white man has to give you enough God for you to choose the white man over God. So the white man can say to God, you can't take these from me. They chose me.
Oh.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so the white man gives you a Bible. And there's much truth in it. A lot of truth in it. A whole lot of truth in it. But he adds falsehood to it. Well, why didn't he just give you a book of all falsehood? Because he couldn't justify keeping you from God, possessing you instead of God, if he didn't give you enough truth about God to be able to say you chose him over God.
Come on.
Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So there are all kinds of evidence, or there is all kinds of evidence that Islam is the true religion of God, that Allah is the one and the true God, and that the black man represents the people of God, and that the white race is a made race of devils. It's plenty of evidence in both books, Bible and Quran.
That's right.
The white man had to allow that evidence to remain in the Bible, so that when he put his falsehood to that truth, or with that truth that's in the Bible, and you decided that you were going to accept the falsified version of the truth,
Wow.
instead of the truth itself,
Wow.
then the white man would be justified in his claim of you. Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The white man bears witness that the black man is the original man. That's something he didn't used to bear witness to. But he bears witness that the black man is the original man. Okay, just that one thing right there. Who is the original man? The original man is the black man. Student enrollment, question number 1. The original man is the black man.
Yes, sir. Maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Yes, sir.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Just that right there is the reason you should give up Christianity and come follow Elijah.
Come on. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
But when you tell black people that the black man is the original man, they don't think that just that one thing alone means Islam is the true religion.
Right. Right.
I could see that at the age of 21 when I was introduced to Islam.
Come on.
I could see it. Listen, let me try to put it to you in a way maybe you'll at least understand.
Yes, sir.
Because remember what I said earlier in the lecture. You do what the hell you want to do. What I'm doing is trying to force you, if I am able to make a decision to reject something that you firmly grasp. I want to make sure that you know what you're turning down.
Right.
So you won't be able to say later, oh, the reason I turned it down because I didn't realize what I was doing. The hell you didn't. Eric's going to make sure, be it the will of Allah. Oh, yes, you did. I made it plain enough for you, and you still turned it down. Talk black to me. So you get what you get because you deserve what you get.
Come on.
Now, I'm going to put it to you like this. If the black man is the first man, then his religion is the right religion. Now, if you're against the teaching of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you understand what I just said, and some of you do, but you don't want to be no Muslim follower of Elijah, you got that feeling niggas get. When the Muslims hit them with something, they can't dismiss. You can't do nothing with what I just said. If the black man is the first man, his religion is the right religion.
Come on.
Because his religion is the first religion. You can't tell me that the first religion of black people was Christianity. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that the first religion of black people was Judaism. You can't tell me that.
Come on.
Are you listening to me?
Right.
I can so tell you that the black man's first religion was Islam. Yes, I can.
That's right.
You won't accept it, but yes, I can.
Come on.
Talk black to me. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. If the first people created by God were black people, that people, black people, were given by the God who created them his religion. So the first religion of the first people is God's religion.
That's right.
Well, Judaism came way later. Christianity came way later. So even if you say Islam wasn't, Judaism and Christianity show as ish wasn't.
That's right.
They didn't come till thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years later.
Yes, sir.
What the hell is that God's religion? Talk black to me. If it ain't the first religion, it ain't the right religion.
That's right.
Since it's not the first religion, it's not the right religion. The first religion is a black religion because the first man is the black man.
Come on.
Now, what was the black man's first religion? If you say it was not Islam, what was it?
Teach.
It was African spirituality.
What is that?
Crazy as hell.
What is that?
Talk black to. They don't know what the hell it is.
It wasn't even called Africa back then. So how can it be African spirituality? Yes, sir. Come on.
We're not religious, we're spiritual.
Wow.
Silly as hell.
Very much so.
What was the black man's first religion if you believe it was not Islam? Well, it was African traditional religions. You're a nut. What you call African traditional religions did not exist beyond 50,000 years ago. Because it was 50,000 years ago when one of our forefathers, one of our scientists, took his family into the jungles of East Asia to live that jungle life.
Yes, sir. Come on.
So there was no African spirituality then.
Yes, sir.
There was no Africa then.
Yes, sir.
It was East Asia then.
Teach. Yes,
The original people called this continent Asia, but the devils call it Africa to try to divide them.
sir.
Talk black to me. Now, if you can't accept that because that's some Nation of Islam mythology, there are scholars, at least one of which is on YouTube, that say black people migrated around 50,000 years ago from the Levant. Is anybody listening to me?
Teach.
Meaning that area that comprises the north of Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, Palestine, you call it Israel, whatever you want to call it, Lebanon, Syria, that area migrated from that area into Africa, the north of Africa,
Yes, sir. Teach.
and then populated in that area.
Teach.
And at that time, that area was not desert. Wasn't no Sahara Desert at that time.
Right.
The area was lush and green.
Come on. Teach.
Talk black to me.
Teach.
See, when you think of the jungles of Africa, you're thinking about an area of Africa way, 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 way south of that area of Africa. But that area of Africa 50,000 years ago was not arid or desert.
Come on.
Talk black to me.
Greenery.
Lots of greenery.
Yes, sir.
Everybody all right still?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So here we have someone with some education saying that around 50,000 years ago, the indigenous people of Africa were a people who migrated from Middle Eastern Asia into Africa, meaning Afro-Asiatics. You saw it 3,000 years ago. In 800 BC, some southern Arabians called Yemenis migrated from Yemen to Ethiopia and established, hundreds of years later, established the kingdom of Aksum, which is now the country of Ethiopia. How many of you know or knew that when you're looking at Ethiopians, calling them Africans, that you're looking at Asiatics from Arabia? Talk black to me. Damn. But how many Yemenis today look like Ethiopians? If it wasn't for Yemenis, you wouldn't have no damn Ethiopians. Ethiopians are Yemenis who left Yemen 2,800 years ago. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now that's a fact of black history you can't deny. So I've given you one example, how a people called Africans are from Arabia. And I'm telling you, the people there in northern Africa, going back thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years ago, are said to have migrated from an area of northern Arabia. Y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So when you look at blacks in that area of Africa today, you are looking at people who are from the area of northern Arabia who migrated into Africa. What is it about this that you find so difficult to accept and or understand? Talk back to me. We know how Arabians looked 3,000 years ago because we see their descendants in Ethiopia today.
Go ahead.
We know how so-called Amazigh, Berbers, indigenous blacks of Africa who are north of the Sahara or part of the Sahara. We know how people who were living in the Levant, the area around northern Arabia, we know how they looked 50,000 years ago because we can see their descendants, how they look today in the Sahara and above the Sahara. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The way Berbers, Amazigh, whatever you want to call them, the way they look today, those Africans, the way they look today, Fulani, Tuareg, whatever you want to call them, the way they look today tells us the way the people in the area of Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and northern Arabia, the way they looked 50,000 years ago. Because that's where the hell they came from. Is anybody listening to me this afternoon?
Yes, sir. Keep going.
Now I'm asking you again. What was the black man's first religion? If you say it was not Islam, talk black to me. Then what was the first religion? Don't tell me African spirituality, because there was no Africa. There may have been spirituality, but it sure as ish wasn't no damn Africa. So what was the black man's first religion? When was the black man's first religion? You can't even tell me when. So what you mean? You can't tell me what, because you can't tell me when.
Wow.
And you can't tell me when, because the white man can't tell you when.
That's right.
The white man has nowhere in none of his textbooks tells you what the first black people's religion was. He knows it was Islam, but it's not because he researched and found that it was Islam.
Come on.
He knows that it was Islam because he knows Master Farad Muhammad is Allah.
That's right.
He knows Elijah Muhammad is the messenger of Allah.
That's right.
He knows the nation of Islam is your black nation.
That's right.
And that you a damn fool for not joining it. The
Okay.
white man knows it, but he can't tell you. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The fraternal F order O of free F again and A accepted Masons, fam. The fraternal order of free and accepted Masons, is that a black or white order?
Right.
It's a white order. Anybody listening?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The ancient Arabic Egyptian order of nobles of the mystic shrine, is that a black order or a white order?
Sound white to me, brother.
It sounds pretty damn white to me. Well, whites aren't very ancient. I'm sorry, brother. He wasn't ready for that one.
Yes, sir.
Whites ain't too ancient. Whites ain't Arabic. Whites ain't Egyptian.
Come on.
Whites have some nobles. There is white nobility. But there's no ancient Arabic white nobility. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
There's no ancient Egyptian white nobility. Hello? So we're not talking white folks when we say ancient Arabic Egyptian. That ain't talking about white folks. Is anybody listening? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
You need this. Nobles of the mystic shrine. What's mystic? That means you don't know nothing about this.
Right.
You know how we say when something when there's a song playing and you say, man, what you know about that? Or we'll say to you, you don't know nothing about that. Well, it's the same thing here. Mystic means it's something you don't know nothing about that.
Right.
Ancient Arabic or ancient Egyptian Arabic. I said it backwards. Ancient Egyptian Arabic order of mystics. You ain't up on what they up on. It's mysterious. Of mystics. Well, what kind of mystics? mystics, or the shrine is mystic, pardon me. Ancient Egyptian Arabic order of nobles. So we're talking about nobility. We're talking about nobles. We're talking about a particular order, a particular set, a particular crew of nobles. Well, what crew, what particular set of nobles are we dealing with here, Minister Eric? What order of nobles are we dealing with? The ancient Egyptian Arabic order of nobles. Okay, tell me something else about this ancient Egyptian Arabic order of nobles. Tell me something else about them. Well, they're nobles of the mystic shrine. The shrine is mystical. It's mysterious. You don't know nothing about that. Talk black to me. Now, this is dealing with masonry. This is dealing with Shriners. Are you following me? And the point that I'm making is, if this is a white order, what are they telling you by belonging to an ancient, which they are not, Egyptian Arabic, which again they are not, order of nobles of some mystical shrine? What are they telling you? They're not ancient Greek, they're not ancient Greco-Roman order of nobles of the mystic shrine.
Right.
They're ancient Egyptian Arabic order of the mystic, of nobles of this mystic shrine. They don't associate or identify the mystic shrine that they are an order of nobles of with Greco-Roman nothing. Egyptian Arabic is what they identify it with. But they're neither Egyptian nor Arab. They're crackers from Europe. What are they telling you? They're telling you that the black man's religion is the first religion, it's the right religion, and it's the Muslim religion. What do they study in the lodge and the shrine? Islam. You don't have to accept what I'm saying, but I know it makes sense. The white man is telling you by being a Mason. The white man is telling you by being a Shriner that Islam is older than what he has been telling you it is. You want to start Islam with Prophet Muhammad. You Afrocentrics want to make Egypt something other than Arabic. But there's an ancient Egyptian Arabic, according to the white man that taught you what you know about Egypt. The white man who educated your grandmasters, Kemet nigger, says there was Arabic in ancient Egypt. He names a whole order of his that got a whole lot more than you on their cap and in their pocket. Shut up. He calls it ancient Egyptian Arabic. Not ancient Saudi Arabic, ancient Egyptian Arabic. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches you Moses spoke ancient Egyptian Arabic.
Come on.
Talk black to me. You got the white man with an order, a very proud order, a distinguished, prestigious order, named after an Arabic that's both ancient and Egyptian. Right. That's the white man telling you enough truth So that if you don't accept the teaching of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he can claim you. He can tell God, I beat you. This nigga mine. You can't claim him. This nigga mine. Elijah Muhammad taught them Moses spoke ancient Egyptian Arabic. I got one of my most prestigious orders named after ancient Egyptian Arabic. Dumb nigga don't see Elijah telling the truth. He belonged to me. See you. Wish I could be you. See you. Wherever you sending me, I'm taking this nigga with me. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. What religion is Egypt associated with? Islam. What religion is Arabia associated with? Islam.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but the Muslims didn't come into Egypt until. Shut up. The white man is in masonry, right? And he's studying Islam. You can't deny this. They study Islam in the lodge, in the shrine. They literally, at a certain point in their development, go into this book, from this book Bible, into this book Quran. That's a fact. I got a Quran in my living room right now that belonged to my mother's Christian preacher uncle.
Wow. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's a big one.
That big one.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
That was my mother's uncle's Quran. Not by blood, by marriage.
Yes, sir. See.
My mother's mother, my grandmother,
Yes, sir.
one of her sisters,
Yes, sir.
was married to a Christian preacher.
Wow.
I don't know what his first name was.
Yes, sir. See.
I just know his last name was Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See.
My grandmother's last name, until she married my grandfather, her last name was Brown.
Come on. Yes, sir.
Brown.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
She was born a Brown.
Come on.
Her sister was also born a Brown,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
but she married a Jones.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. Keep going.
The Jones that she married was a Christian preacher. He had a church in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I don't know what the name of the church was. But my big Yusuf Ali Quran was his.
Wow.
And my mother's aunt who married him was an Eastern Star.
Come on.
Anybody listening?
Yes, sir. Make it plain.
What I'm establishing by that is when you're dealing with masonry, when you're dealing with Shriners, you're dealing with Islam. Once we accept that, okay, now we're going to get into some of their teaching. It's about God.
Go ahead.
God is referred to as the great architect of the universe.
Come on. See.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. See.
All right. Two of their symbols are the T square
Come on.
and the compass.
That's right. See.
Who are the first people to use those instruments? Black people.
Come on. See.
White folks didn't know nothing about no T square and no damn compass.
Yes, sir. See.
Those building tools, they didn't know nothing about that before we did. We taught the white man the T square and the compass. We taught that cracker that.
Yes, sir. See.
And a sign of his masonry is the T square
Right.
with the compass over it. What's inside the diamond that forms? The eye of Horus.
Come on. See.
Who's Horus? And that eye is the all-eye seeing. That's the eye of God. That's God. That's why instead of putting an actual I, they use a G. Right or wrong? Talk back to me. And the G that they use is really an Egyptian eye, because like I said, it's the eye of Horus. If you look at the shape of the Egyptian eye, the symbol that the Egyptians drew of the eye, that's what they use. They use the G for that. Anybody following me so far? It's the eye of Horus. Horus is the son of Osiris and Isis, who are figures of ancient Egypt. Anybody listening? And on the back of the white man's dollar bill, that eye is at the top, the cap of what? A pyramid. So you have the compass, the T-square, which are the building tools, and the pyramid, which those tools theoretically built. All that takes you to the black man. Are you listening? So yes, I'm putting scattered pieces of a puzzle together. And I'm showing you that the black or white man is telling you that the true religion of God is Islam. It's the first religion. It's the black man's religion. And the black man is the first people. The white man tells you that truth in a very scattered, almost undiscernible manner. But in the nation of Islam, we find the pieces. And we put them pieces together and give you a clarified picture. Are you listening to me? Anytime you're looking at a picture, you're looking at a bunch of different pixels. But when you put the pixels together, the picture becomes clearer. And the more pixels that form the picture, the higher the definition or the clarity of the picture. The white man's Masonic lodge and shrine represent 8 pixel or some pixels in the picture of Islam being the first man's religion, the black man's religion, God's true religion. But you got to know how to get those pixels and put them together to form a coherent picture. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when you choose to dispute that Islam is the black man's religion, that it's the first religion of God, the true religion of God, and Christianity is the white man's religion, and you stay your behind in the church, you know what you're turning down, because I just explained it to you. So you get what you deserve. Point blank, plain, and simple. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
How the hell you going to tell me Islam started with Muhammad, yet you have an order called the Ancient Egyptian Arabic Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, tying it to ancient Egypt. So Islam existed in ancient Egypt.
Right.
Hello? Islam existed in ancient Egypt. Arabic existed in ancient Egypt.
Right.
And the white man is telling you that. But when you go take an African studies course at the white man's college, you're not going to learn that.
Right.
Because you're not initiated. Hello? You just college educated, but you're not initiated. What's taught in the lodge, what's done in the shrine, that's mystic. That's secret. Only a select few get that. to me?
Come on. See.
Why do you have to pay thousands of dollars to be a Mason?
Question.
You got to pay thousands of dollars to go to college.
You do.
What does that tell you about the thousands of dollars you got to pay to be a Mason? That there is a valuable education going on in there. Just like at the white man's colleges. Are you listening to me? It also tells you no matter how high your education is from the white man's college campuses, there's some further education that unless you become part of an initiation, the lodge, the shrine, you still got some learning to do. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is the wisdom that so many white folks talk about on the back of Message to the Black Man, along with James Baldwin. This is the wisdom. This is the teaching. This is the message that brings about an end to global white supremacy. Right. Not by just teaching it, not by just accepting it. That goes a long way. But you need to understand, and this is what I try to say it as respectfully as possible because niggas sensitive as hell, and I'm one of them. This is what I try to say to you who are Moors. You are followers of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is what I try to impart to you who are members of the UNIA who push Marcus Garvey. You think that the reason I and others are Muslim followers of Messenger Elijah Muhammad and members of the Nation of Islam is simply because we like Elijah Muhammad's teachings more than Marcus Garvey's teachings. We like Elijah Muhammad's teachings more than Noble Drew Ali's teachings. Will you please cut it out? This is the reason why, no matter what has come my way, and a lot that has come my way that's not Nation of Islam, a lot of it is things I swear to you, I like those things. But I ain't following none of that. Let me tell you why. And I'm going to repeat myself. A lot of what is not specifically Nation of Islam that has come my way since I've been a member of the Nation of Islam, it is things that I like. I like it. But I ain't following it. Why? Because the teachings of Elijah Muhammad are from the teacher of Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
The teachings of Elijah Muhammad are from the teacher of Elijah Muhammad. The overwhelming majority of us are constantly concentrating on the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. We don't spend enough time concentrating on the teacher of Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
Most, if not all, of the teachings of Elijah Muhammad are about the teacher of Elijah Muhammad.
See.
Case in point, our Savior has arrived. That's about the teacher.
Yes, sir.
Hello. This book says message to the black man. It doesn't say message from a black man. It says message to the black man.
Yes, sir.
Well, where's the message from? We act like the message is from a black man, Elijah Muhammad. No! The message is for the black man. And Elijah Muhammad is just one of the black men that the message is for. The message is from Master Farad Muhammad.
Go ahead.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right. That's right. Teach. Teach.
The message is from this man, Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Teach.
It's for this man, us.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The man I showed you on the front of the newspaper brought a message for us. He appointed Elijah Muhammad to deliver that message to us.
Go ahead.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
You can argue with me about teachings of Noble Drew Ali, teachings of Marcus Garvey. You can argue with me about teachings. What you can't argue with me about, is teachers. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The reason I am with the teaching of Elijah Muhammad is because the teacher of Elijah Muhammad has power to destroy the white man.
Come on.
Y'all ain't listening to me.
Come on.
The teacher of Elijah Muhammad can whoop the white man.
Come on.
In fact, the whole reason that the teacher of Elijah Muhammad came here with a message for the people of Elijah Muhammad was so that the people of Elijah Muhammad would not be killed when he killed white people.
That's right. Come on. That's a fact.
He didn't just come here to teach black people.
That's a fact.
He came here to teach black people because he intends to kill white people.
Right.
He intends to kill white people because white people have been killing, enslaving, and oppressing black people. What white people have done to black people is a capital crime.
Go ahead.
When you do to people what white people have done to black people, the penalty is death,
Yes, sir.
not condemnation.
Yes, sir.
You don't get away with an apology. You die.
Yes, sir. Teach.
The white man told us that the law of God is a life for a life.
Yes, sir. Teach.
The penalty for murder is death.
Right.
The white race, more than any other race of people, more than any other people on the planet, they are the number one murderers of the population of the planet Earth.
That's right. Teach.
And the penalty for the degree of murder that they have perpetrated on people who never did them any harm, that penalty is death. And it's prophesied in both books, Bible and Holy Quran. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
They are called beasts in the Bible.
Go ahead.
And they are pushed into a lake of fire in the Bible.
Go ahead.
And the false prophets who follow them and preach what they got to preach from them are pushed into the fire with them. Hello? In the Quran, they are called Iblis, but they are also called Shaitan.
Yes, sir. See.
And they are identified in chapter 20 as being the guilty blue-eyed.
Go ahead.
That God is going to gather and punish in the last days. Y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
They are unnatural.
Come on.
And like I was explaining, the whole reason I went into the white man has to lie to you, but he also has to tell you the truth. I gave you other examples, but I want to finish that example.
Yes, sir.
The white man has to tell you that he got here 6,000 years ago. So that when you choose to disbelieve the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that it was 6,000 years ago that the white man was grafted from the original black man, the white man will have a justified claim on you because he told you Elijah Muhammad was right. But he also has to deceive you. So instead of just telling you that the genetics that produced the white race were introduced into the human gene pool 6,000 years ago and just leave it at that, well, that's too much truth. He says between, meaning it could be only 6,000 years ago, but it might be as long as 10,000 years ago. He knows damn well it wasn't longer than 6,000 years ago. But to deceive you into believing it wasn't just 6, he says between 6 and 10, which is another way of saying it might have just been 6. That's the truth. But the falsehood he adds to it is it could have been as long as 10. That's a damn lie. You done already said the truth, cracker. But you got to trick it up. You got to add another 4,000 years to it. So that when the Muslims say what you now are saying, those that they are saying it to now have an excuse in their minds not to accept Elijah. Well, it could have been 10,000. It didn't say 6,000. It said between 6 and 10,000. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we'll let the white man admit it wasn't before 6.
Come on.
And we'll let the white man lie. It could have been beyond 6.
Right.
But we're going to accept, since the white man admits it wasn't before 6, that Elijah Muhammad is right when he say it was just 6. Talk black to me. Now, what else was I going to say about that 6? The white man's genetic traits exploded on to the human gene pool. There was no gradual introduction of the white man's genetic traits into those genetic traits of the human gene pool that existed at the time. The white man was not here one day and the next day he was here. I'm not talking about a 24-hour day. I am saying to you, there was nothing natural about the human gene pool 6,000 years ago, which was black. There was nothing natural that occurred in the human gene pool that introduced the genetic traits of the white race. It was not a natural process. The only way it could have happened is if the white race was selectively bred in isolation from the black man.
Deep. Deep.
You got to take the original people
Right.
into isolation,
Right.
and then you have to select the way they breathe
Wow. Come on.
in such a manner that over a period of 600 years, you will breed from a black population a white population. You will literally bring into existence the genetic traits that never existed before. You will bring into existence the genetic traits that produce the white race. It can't happen by coincidence. That's not something that can happen naturally. You cannot get a white race from a quote unquote human family that's black,
Right.
that's non-white.
Right.
You cannot produce human beings that are white from a population of human beings that has existed untold thousands of years before whites. You can't produce a race of human beings that is white naturally. Selective breeding is the only way. Somebody has to get into the natural process of producing human beings, which forever and a day ain't been producing nothing but niggas. And you gotta intervene, interfere, control the breeding. In isolation over extensive time in order to produce this new people. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Every so often there'll be a mutation of the black gene and you'll produce albinos. But there's no such thing as an albino race. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a race of albinos.
Come on.
There is no educational, scientific designation of albinos as a damn race.
Right. That's that.
You got albinos that belong to different races.
Come on.
You can tell an albino that's African from an albino that's not African.
That's right.
Being albinism doesn't change your ethnicity.
That's right. Go ahead. See.
Albinism is something that happens in an ethnicity. And an albino is still part of that ethnicity. Albinism does not change your ethnicity. So there is no albino race. But if you know that black people have in their gene pool the ability to produce a people who are white in complexion, then you can look for the source of that gene. And if you up on your game, you can selectively breed, not an albino, but you can selectively breed a race of people who resemble albinos. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
They'll have blonde hair. They'll have blue eyes. They'll have pale skin. Talk black to me. But you have to do this in isolation. It takes hundreds of years. And you have to control the breeding. If you let black people just breed naturally, you'll get a few albinos here and there, but you won't get a race of white people. It just won't happen. But if you selectively breed black people, control the birth, birth control, in isolation, you can gradually lighten the color of that black people, going from black to brown, from brown to yellow, and from yellow to white. It only takes 600 years.
Come on.
Talk black to me. White people are not natural. Nature did not produce them. And that's why the affections that they have are unnatural affections. Are you listening to me? All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now this people, as I close, or begin to close, this people, the white race of people, the Bible tells you in Genesis that they were given power and dominion, that they were told to be fruitful, to multiply, to replenish the earth. Replenish means repopulate.
Come on.
What you mean replenish? You can't replenish unless it's already plenished.
Go ahead.
Means do over. You can't do something over that hasn't already been done.
Come on.
Replenish the earth. See, the white man is telling you that at the time Adam was so-called created, the earth was already populated. Bearing witness to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Replenish the earth. Well, what about the people who had already plenished or populated it? You're being told to replenish it. And then it says, and subdue it, which means bring it under your power and control. It says he was given power and dominion. But again, he was given power and dominion over an earth that he was told to replenish. That means he was given power and domain over an earth already populated by another people, so he was given power to rule that people. Later in Genesis, it makes it clearer in the 25th chapter. Rebecca is pregnant. She's having twins.
Come on.
They're struggling against each other in the womb. Okay. She entreats the Lord. What's going on? The Lord tells her, 2 nations are in your womb.
Go ahead.
That means you are from one people, but in your gene pool is the ability to produce another people. Talk back to me. 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 types, but it doesn't say type. 2 manner of people shall be what? Separated. You got your own Bible telling you one people can produce 2 separate people. So if Elijah Muhammad tells you that in the black man there exist 2 germs, one a black germ and one a brown germ, and that Yaqub grafted the white man by separating the brown germ and grafting it into a white by destroying the black germ, what the hell is your problem? Your own Bible gives you an instance. It uses metaphorical language, but your own Bible gives you an instance of 2 whole different types of people being separated from one. Later on in your Bible, I believe it's in Hosea. Might be Hebrews. Who the hell knows? Don't care. But one of them damn books, and most of them books are damn books, it says from one blood created he, meaning God, all nations.
Go ahead.
All nations of people come from one blood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What in the hell makes you think that one blood belongs to more than one people? If he created all nations from one blood, then that one blood is the blood of one people. Everybody else but that people are who he created from that people. That's the other nations or all nations that were created from that people. From one blood. Now you can read that in the Bible and just say, yeah, sir. From one blood, Master, created God all nations of people. Or you can get the microscope and you can read Gregor Mendel's work.
Yes, sir.
Talk back to me. That in living things, you have two germs.
Yes, sir.
One is the dominant germ. The other germ is recessive.
Come on.
Talk back to me.
Yes, sir.
The Holy Quran said Allah created everything in what? Pairs.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Same thing in living things. Dominant gene, recessive gene.
Yes,
Mr. Mendel said, he's a geneticist now. He said that the dominant gene produces dark color,
sir.
dark hair, dark eyes, dark skin. It's the same thing in plants, dark color.
Yes, sir.
He said the recessive gene produces light hair, light eyes,
Yes, sir.
light skin.
See.
Are you listening to me? He said you can get the recessive gene from the dominant gene.
Right.
Meaning, in the gene pool of living things, you have one gene that has the capacity to produce a separate gene
Yes, sir.
and itself.
Go ahead. See.
The dominant gene can produce other dominant genes, but it can also produce recessive genes.
Come on. Make it plain.
So Mr. Mendel said you can get the recessive gene from the dominant, but you cannot get the dominant from the recessive.
Come on.
Whose blood alone, like Elijah, whose blood alone has the genetic properties to produce all of the nations of people that exist on the planet today? Only the black man.
Only the black man.
The brown man can't do it.
Go ahead.
The red man can't do it. The yellow man can't do it. The white man can't do it. But the black man can do it.
Only the black man.
See how the white man tells you the truth
Yes, sir.
while he lies to you?
Come on.
So that when you don't accept the truth because the white man didn't make it plain to you, he's justified to keep you from God.
Yes, sir.
Because he told you enough truth to recognize the messenger of God as being from God. Talk back to me. From one blood in the Bible created he all nations.
Yes, sir.
Only the black man's blood can do that.
Right. Right.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since only the black man's blood can do that, where did the white man come from? Not where, but how. How did the white man come from the black man? Well, the black man was migrating from Africa into Europe. Niggas ain't had no camels.
Right.
Niggas ain't had no cars. Ain't had no bus.
Right.
Ain't had no trains.
Come on.
They just walking
Come on.
from Africa to Europe. What the hell would you leave Africa and walk to Europe for?
Come on.
Every damn thing you need
Right there.
is right there. But you're going to leave on foot
Yes, sir.
and walk to Europe.
Come on.
And for some odd reason, as the climate began to change, the temperature of the air went down, and niggas turned to crackers.
Reverse Santana.
How stupid can you be? Your nappy hair got straight.
Right. Come on.
Your fat nose got skinny.
Come on.
Your big old lips got razor. Are you crazy?
Come on.
And then all of a sudden, your melanin just said, look, we out.
We out.
Check y'all later.
The sister lost her hip.
A lot of things just went bad. You left Africa an African and became a European. How does that happen? Frances Cress Welsing told you what she taught you in that book was just a theory.
Come on.
The Cress theory of the colors.
Go ahead.
Meaning, this is a theory. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just trying to, sell my book.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. White people ain't no natural people, but they were given power and dominion to be fruitful, multiply, repopulate the earth, and subdue it. Later on in Genesis, Exodus, it says, 6 days shalt thou labor. What labor? Well, we just told you what labor in Genesis. You got 6 days to do it. On the 7th day, that's God's day. You don't work that day. What you've been doing for the past 6 days, you don't do on that 7th day. That's God's day.
That's right.
Talk black to me. Go a little further, 2 Peter 3:8. One day with the Lord is 1,000 years. So 6,000 years you got to do this labor. It's there. You just don't want to accept it.
Right.
Talk black to me. You go to, I believe, Isaiah. I'm almost finished. Just relax.
Take your time, brother.
Well, I can't take my time. They want me to finish. Let's go to Isaiah right quick. If I can find him. It definitely wasn't Hosea, like I said, because that's in the Old Testament. It looks like, at least. Let me see. Yeah, Hosea is the Old Testament. So it wasn't Hosea. The one blood created he all nations is definitely not there. But now let's find Isaiah. Okay, now let's go to the 14th chapter of Isaiah. All right. Isaiah 14, beginning with verse 12. it's talking about the punishment of a particular people. And it says this, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground? Which didst, now it's talking about what he did, which didst weaken the nations. Meaning the nations weren't weak,
Yes, sir.
but Lucifer weakened the nations.
Yes, sir.
Okay? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, which means Lucifer wasn't from heaven.
That's right.
Black Christian preacher telling you Lucifer was in heaven.
He did. That's what he said.
Isaiah said he wasn't in heaven.
He had to ascend.
He didn't even ascend. It said he said in his heart,
Oh,
he will ascend.
go ahead. Gotcha.
This ain't nobody in heaven.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I will ascend into heaven.
Yes, sir.
I will exalt my throne, meaning my rulership, my power,
Yes, sir.
above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. I'm going to rule and control religion.
Go ahead.
Where am I going to do all of this? In the sides, more than one,
Yes, sir.
in the sides of the north.
In the sides of the north. Go ahead.
Now this is the earth, right?
Yes, sir.
Because he's saying he's going to ascend to heaven.
Yes, sir.
So this is the earth. You have a northern hemisphere
Yes, sir.
and a southern hemisphere.
Come on.
But there are two sides of the earth, right?
Come on.
So that means there are two sides of the north.
Yes, sir.
You have the north in the western hemisphere
Yes, sir.
and the north in the eastern hemisphere.
Come on.
If you go to the eastern hemisphere and go north, you find Europe and Russia.
Come on.
Europeans, Russians, right?
Yes, sir.
In other words, white folks.
Yes, sir.
You go to the southern hemisphere in the east, black folks.
Yes, sir. See.
You come over here. In the northern hemisphere, white folks.
Yes, sir. See.
United States, Canada.
Yes, sir.
You go to the southern hemisphere, non-white people.
That's right. See. Come on.
But there's a people called Lucifer in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, who reside on the sides in both hemispheres. They live in the north. This people weakens the nations. They control religion.
Yes, sir.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Hasn't the white man got above the clouds with his planes?
Yes, sir.
Hasn't he put his satellites up there like the stars?
Yes, sir. Fact.
Isn't he sending, what are they called? These missions, but there's something they're called. Going to Mars,
Oh.
going to all these different planets. That's setting his throne
Yes, sir.
in his mind above the stars. All right. Yet, now this is a prophecy of this man who's doing all of this. Yet, thou shalt be brought down to hell,
Oh, man.
to the sides of the pit. They that see thee. I thought Lucifer was invisible.
Not according to that.
Not according to Isaiah.
Yes, sir.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee saying, is this the man? So what's Lucifer?
A man.
No, he's a spirit.
As you were, sir.
Damn right as our word, sir.
He's a man.
According to Isaiah, they are going to look and see Lucifer and say, is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
Come on.
What them crackers in Trump's administration just say in celebration about them bombing Yemen?
Right.
Talking about they shook the ground, they shook the country, they shook, made the earth in Yemen tremble.
Yes, sir.
You all right?
Yes, sir.
That did shake kingdoms. Tell me this ain't the work of the white man
Come on.
that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Tell me this not describing white folks. From them getting up in the air,
Right.
exalting themselves above God,
Right.
sitting themselves up in the congregation of God, shaking kingdoms, shaking nations, making the earth tremble,
Yes, sir.
not opening the house of the prisoners.
Right.
All of this is a perfect description of this white race of devils.
Yes, sir.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Speak.
And in the Bible, the white man tells you the truth. Though he must lie to you, he tells you the truth. Lucifer, the enemy of God, Satan, the devil, is a man.
Go ahead. That's right.
He lives on the earth
You can see.
in both sides of the northern hemisphere of the earth. You can see this devil. He's a man that's going to ascend to great power and then afterwards be brought down to the pit of hell. When he ascends to great power,
Yes, sir.
there's going to be global white supremacy. But on the seventh day, the
Go ahead.
early morning, the early portion of the seventh millennium, the farad of the seventh millennium,
Yes, sir.
a man is going to be born. He's going to take that name farad, corresponding to the time of his birth and mission. And he's going to bring that man who has been supreme globally, and he's going to pull that man down to the pit of hell. But there's a house where he has some prisoners that belong to that God
Yes, sir. That's right.
that he won't open up.
Come on.
And so he has to separate his people from that people that he comes to destroy. So in the book of Revelations, he says, come out of her, my people.
Yes, sir.
Don't commit her sins, LGBTQ. Don't commit her sins, so you don't receive of her plagues, my punishment upon her. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
In Revelations, it identifies the man even further. It says, he is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. Why? Because it's the number of a man.
Oh, man.
The beast is a man. And his number is 666. 600 years to make him. 60,000 of us that he was made from. 6,000 years he was given the ruler. 666. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
We are living in the time of the end of global white supremacy. And we who are living in the first nation that the destroyer of global white supremacy intends to bring down, we are the people of the God who will destroy this people and this nation and their power. And we must be separated from them. We must be made fit to enter into the kingdom of him who will destroy them. The religion of the white man's destroyer is Islam.
Go ahead.
The language of the white man's destroyer is Arabic. The God who is the white man's destroyer is Allah. And the people of Allah, the people of Islam, are we black people. Are you listening so far?
Yes, sir.
So in order for us to be separated from the white man and eligible to enter into the kingdom of Islam of the black man, we must give up the white man's names, because legally God cannot claim you if you have their name instead of his. You ain't listening to me. God cannot claim you if you have their name instead of his. So if you do not register, get your X. You in trouble. I'm telling you right now. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. God ain't here to save niggas named Jones. God ain't here to save niggas named Smith. God ain't here to save niggas named Washington, Jackson, and Johnson. If those are your names, they are the white man's names, and legally, you belong to the white man. And that's why he wants to keep you in those names. But if you have an X or holy name, and when I say holy name, not some name you pick for yourself.
Come on.
If you have an X or holy name, the white man can't claim you. How the hell can the white man claim Brother Gerard?
Go ahead.
And he got an X.
See?
Talk back to me. That X X's out the name strong.
Come on.
It X's it out.
Yes, sir. See?
So Master Farad Muhammad can say, okay, you got to give me that one.
Yes, sir.
And the white man, he can't do nothing but say, damn. That's why we say, when you get your X, we're so glad. And the devil is so sad, because we just got another one he thought he had.
Come on.
Talk black to me.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Get your X.
Yes, sir.
Quit playing. Register with your own nation. Stop thinking you have a future in white America. You have no future in white America. White Americans don't even have a future in white America. So where you gonna get a future from?
Oh.
The white man's time is up. It's been up since 1914.
Yes, sir.
And when I started talking about that time, the point that I was trying to make is the white man can only continue to rule as long as you remain asleep. This message to us is a wake-up message.
Come on.
Once we wake up, the white man cannot continue to rule. Are you listening? The white man is now 111 years past his time, and 111 years, therefore, in your time.
Go ahead.
It has been your time since 1914.
That's right.
But you have continued to sleep since 1914.
Right.
Your remaining asleep is essential to the white man remaining in power. And so this message is an existential threat to the white race. And that is why that white man who was a ruler in white supremacy said, if it wasn't for Elijah Muhammad, we'd have a bright future. Because Elijah Muhammad, more than any other man, represents the man who can wake up the black man and bring it in to global white supremacy. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.